Reba McEntire adores her siblings, brother Pake McEntire and sisters Alice Foran and Susie McIntyre-Eaton. While Clark Vincent was a professional rodeo competitor, Reba's parents, Clark Vincent and Jacqueline Smith McEntire, reared their 3 girls and son on their expansive family farm in Oklahoma. Jacqueline inspired Reba, Susie, and Pake to pursue singing in high school, ensuring that they all had a love for music from an early age. I started singing around the house with Pake, Susie, and myself more and more by the time I was in junior high school. As Mama and Daddy's friends came over to play dominoes, we were sometimes the entertainment, the singer stated in her 1995 autobiography, Reba, My Story. Pake sang melody and played acoustic rhythm guitar. Susie sang the low harmony while I sang the high. Reba's career in country music took off in the early to mid-1980s with the release of My Kind of Country and Unlimited. Susie and Pake were providing Reba with background vocals at the time. Pake started his own music career and gained recognition in exchange. Before making a name for herself in Christian music, Susie toured with Reba for a few years. Alice, meanwhile, chose to live a more discreet life away from the spotlight. Before holding the position as county director of the Department of Human Services in Atoka, Oklahoma, she was employed as a social worker. Regarding her sister, Alice, Reba stated, "She's the rock, the one you can call at 3 in the morning, and she'll always be ready to help in any way." Discover everything there is to know about the relationship between Reba McEntire's siblings, Susie, Pake, and Alice, and the Super Bowl 2024 performer. Reba had a very special childhood, as did her siblings. Growing up on their 8,000-acre family ranch in Chalky, Oklahoma, they assisted their grown-ups in caring for the property and livestock. In Reba, My Story, Reba wrote, "By the time I was 6, I was gathering cattle, and doing it from before daylight until after dark by the time I was 7. I would go tell Daddy we were ready, and Alice, Pake, and I would saddle the horses and tie them up." Similar to Reba, Jacqueline aspired to be a country music star, but she ultimately found employment in the educational sector as a teacher, librarian, and secretary to the high school administrator. Clark, on the other hand, won 3 steer rope championships worldwide. Most of his children took after their father and spent their weekends traveling to see Dad perform in local rodeos. While Reba competed in barrel racing for many years, according to her website, Pake had a talent for roping. Alice continued honing her barrel racing skills after quitting the sport at the age of 21. Reba's mother, who taught her and her brothers how to harmonize and wasn't afraid to correct them when they sounded off-key, earned them the nickname the Singing McEntires in high school. During her interview on Today with Hoda and Jenna, Reba said that Mama would come in with her spatula after she was frying potatoes whenever anybody needed an opinion of who's off. "Susie's on my part, I'm on Susie's part." The singer of Fancy went on, she would say, "Well, Reba, you're on Susie's part. Repeat the song." After we finished singing, she would exclaim, "Oh, that's beautiful," and then she would return to the potato frying process. At local bars and rodeos, the family band became a popular. Susie and Pake were Reba's backing vocalists for a long time before they started their own careers. Susie had already established herself as a major attraction by the time she was allowed to go with Reba. Among the songs that have their harmonies are Heart to Heart from 1981 and Unlimited from 1982. Susie gained a great deal of television exposure as well, co-starring with Reba on Hee Haw, a CBS sketch comedy, and The Johnny Carson Show. Little did I know that this travel time with Reba would help to prepare me for my own solo career in music, Susie posted on her website. "I learned so much in this short period of time." In an interview with United Press International, Pake described how Reba's initial deal served as a springboard for both his and Susie's musical careers. "I always gave her a lot of support and took pride in all of her successes throughout the years. She's been singing professionally since 1976, so I knew it would be my turn eventually," he told the publication. "As soon as she gained access, we were confident that she could assist us. She has been a huge assistance to me." Susie started studying music full-time after graduating from Oklahoma State University in 1980, but it wasn't until 1984 that she realized her true vocation in Christian music. Over her illustrious career, she has since recorded over a dozen albums and garnered 4 #1 singles on the positive country radio charts. Her website states that she won Female Vocalist of the Year at the 2007 Country Gospel Connection Choice Awards and that she was named Entertainer of the Year by the International Country Gospel Music Association in 1993. Her most recent induction into the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame was in 2018. She stated on her website, "My grandma Smith, who watched me while my siblings went to school, was the person who influenced me the most for Christ. It was through her influence that I recognized what Christianity was all about. Not all about going to church, it was about him living his life through me." Pake was establishing himself in the rodeo world while simultaneously beginning his music career. According to the Oklahoman, he won the Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping in 1990 and the Pendleton Roundup in 1984. Because of his intense passion for the rodeo, Pake named his youngest daughter Chisholm after John Chisholm, one of the greatest cattle barons of the 1800s. He told United Press International that his love of roping dates back to his early years. "Every time I went out on the front porch with a rope, the dogs would run under the house," he said. "I used to tether hogs, cats, and anything else having a mobile legs." Pake also had a brief career as a solo musician. Too Old to Grow Out Now, his debut album, was released in 1986 when he signed with RCA Records. However, the two soon broke out, and Pake started his own record label. Haley is the daughter of Alice and her husband, Robert, and they have 3 sons, Vince, Garrett, and Trevor. In a joint podcast interview with Reba and Susie, Alice acknowledged that growing up as the oldest sibling helped her prepare for parenting. "I was destined to be a mother. And I accepted the blame and disciplined you, on all of you," she remarked. Susie is a mom of 3 children. She and her ex-husband have a daughter named Lucchese and 2 sons, Samuel and EP. She remarried 3-time father Mark Eaton in December 2009. Since then, they have made Atoka, Oklahoma, their home, where Tri-State Livestock News reports that their 12 grandchildren assist in running the family farm. Autumn, Calamity, and Chisholm are Pake's 3 daughters, born to his wife. They also own a 1,040-acre ranch in Oklahoma. Reba and her 26-year marriage to Narvel Blackstock are parents to their son Shelby Blackstock. He currently resides in Nashville with Reba's daughter-in-law. The 3 discussed how their maternal grandmother exposed them to Christianity and how faith has remained important in their adult lives while speaking on the Jesus Calling podcast. "I have always relied on Grandma's advice to always tell the Lord thank you. I'm grateful. And I simply stop and say, thank you, God, thank you, when I have nothing more to pray for. I have no idea what will happen next. I simply want to say thank you, but I'm not sure how I'm going to accomplish this." Susie thought back to her sisters. She stated something really basic, probably to each and every one of us, yet it still has resonance in our lives. "The ripple impact will be felt by our children and grandchildren," she continued. Their mother passed away from cancer in March 2020, and the sentiment has supported them through many difficult times. Reba revealed shortly after that she had an image of Jacqueline and their late father, Clark, meeting again in paradise. Clark passed away in October 2014. The singer called on her siblings for support in addition to dedicating the song 7 Minutes in Heaven to their mother. Reba recalled Jacqueline in her home and said, "On today, we laughed, we cried, and we just felt her presence and her love. It was just the greatest thing in the world," stated Reba. "It was a very healing thing.